the Circle of 12, let us begin by giving honour and thanks to Mother Gaia. She is our original parent, and Mother Gaia gives us all we need. Thank you, Gaia, for being here. Thank you, Gaia, for loving us. And let us give honour and thanks to the Star Mothers. Thank you, Star Mothers, for being here. Thank you, Star Mothers, for loving us. The Star Mothers are our spiritual parents who came to Earth as part of a grand system to give us the spark of divinity, this piece of God that lives inside, is the power of the God energy within the human being. You are part of the system of the Creator that is biased in love. Let us affirm our willingness to receive the unconditional love of the Creator. I am willing to accept the perfect love of the Creator. I am willing to accept the perfect love of the Creator. I am willing to accept the perfect love of the Creator. And let us now continue towards the Circle of 12, and let us affirm that we give permission to connect with the God inside.
Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon. Come a little closer, dear ones, because we wish to create something that is unique every single time we do it. It's called the Circle of 12. It's more than that. Some have called it miraculous energy, but it is energy that you create for you as you walk into an energy you've always had. You've always had. It is so powerful, you might say, that some have said, well, it's got to be new. We've never had it before. We didn't know it was possible. It's always been there. But suddenly, in this new time, you start to take away the curtain, perhaps a layer at a time, until you start to see what's always been there. That majesty of your soul. You have no idea how divine that is. And the fact that it's always been with you. Since you were born, dear ones, you come in with it. This meditation always begins in the same way, and always will. It begins with a scenario, you might say. A scenario of permission to move from the known to the unknown. And truly, that's what it is. As many times as you cross this bridge that is now in front of you in this vision, as many times as you cross it, there's always the potential for a surprise. The surprise is that on the other side of that bridge, it's a multifaceted reality. It's not always the same. It changes. And the changes that occur are personal and for you. How big is that bridge? What is your visualization at this moment when I say there's a bridge in front of you, as I always do? And this bridge in front of you is filled with a mist at the halfway point. You cannot see what's on the other side. So the bridge will be that which you walk into, and you will in a moment. Tell me, how big is the bridge? Is it big enough for a human? Does it Does it have a chasm that crosses perhaps between two cliffs? Does it span water or not? What is your vision of this? Because all of those things are very telling about you going into the unknown. Is it a bridge that's large enough for a truck? Everything has that which we'd say meaning for you. But it's your bridge. So today, let's go. And let's not just cross it. Let's walk toward that mist. It's a little different, isn't it, every single time? Now, as you start across that bridge, you realize the mist is almost like a wall. It hangs there like sometimes fog does when it rolls in from the ocean as a wall of fog, and it doesn't seem to have a time where it's lessened and then it's thicker. It just hangs there. You're about ready to walk into it or not, and there you stop. Just stop for a moment. Notice that you're well on the way. You're on the bridge. And because you're on the bridge, that means you have given permission. If you're uncomfortable, stop now. If you just want to listen, stop now. Because when you go through the mist, there is the potential of change. And that's why you're here. That's why you're here. A regular human being would have a temptation to put your hand in the mist, wouldn't you? See if it's safe? Go ahead. If you put your hand in the mist, don't be surprised if you feel it. Another hand ready to pull you through into an unknown place that is glorious, pulling you through perhaps to the next stage of your life, because you step willingly into the unknown place of multidimensionality of your majesty. Did you hear that? You're not going to a scary place. You're going to your place. This is the circle of 12. Go ahead and walk into that mist, dear ones, and realize that it's not a mist at all. As soon as you walk into it, it clears instantly. There is no mystery. There's no magical place that you're going to go to. It's going to be a home place. It's going to feel so good to you. Just walking there. Can you imagine walking into the energy of your very soul? Some would say, well, this is not normal. This is not something. You're leading us into a place that is pretty good, but you know, that's not where humans go. Oh, that's not where you've gone. But that's where humans go. That's where humans go when they have an evolved spirit. That's where humans go when they start to graduate and evolve their consciousness to the next step. I have said this before, dear ones, and you need to know as you stand there in this mist and you're feeling what you're feeling, you need to know this, that you were designed to go here. Eventually, you would find out this is where you can go. This is part of the design to live for hundreds of years because your body is designed to rejuvenate. It's not designed to catch disease and terminate quickly. It's not designed for that. And yet the energy of the planet and the low evolvement and the things that you've learned sometimes keep you from understanding that. We've talked about the peeling of the onion every single time. We'll talk about it again. The things you've been told, the best teachings you could ever have, dear ones, the best spiritual help you could ever have, dear ones, is tempered by an old energy of non-discovery. In other words, it's the best that you had. It's the highest thinking that could happen in a low energy. There's nothing wrong with it. No one has done anything to you, but that's all they had. And now you stand with revelation. Revelation that there's so much more than you ever were told. Every single Wednesday, I'll guide you through this. And I want you to feel comfortable with that guidance. Even though you know where you're going, it may be different every single time you go there. It may be different because as that onion starts to peel, the onion of that which you has as biases, that which you were told, that's what you've learned, starts to peel away to the core. I've said it before, you stand as a child who's never seen anything before, and you're letting all of it come in and be absorbed, and wow, is there a lot. You're about to learn a new language, light language. One that is not spoken, but one which has consciousness of shape and form and color and sound. A language that your soul talks and speaks to you. And in that, the temple that you're about to go in starts to take shape. I want you to stand in this ground for just a moment and look around. What do you see? How real is this to you? And I'll always ask that. I will always ask that. Is this something that you're simply walking through as an exercise or listening to for fun? It's all right, it's fine. But that puts you on the other side of the mist, dear ones. You're still there. But those who have come this far are about ready to see a temple. A temple, again, is a metaphor for a sacred place where something is going to happen. The sacredness is you. How would you build the temple? We've said that before. What's it look like? I'll always ask you that. Is it big? Is it small? What's the door like? The name on the door. Well, now that keeps changing. How can that be, you might ask? It keeps changing. It does. The name changes as you do. It becomes a name in letters you cannot understand. Later it becomes something that glows. Later it becomes that which is a rainbow, perhaps. It's up to you how grand you think you are. Let's talk about that onion right now. Stop. How many have told you you are not supposed to see your grandness? And the answer is many. Don't stop and think you're something, you're told, because you're nothing in the eyes of God. Let me tell you the truth. You are everything in the eyes of God. Your soul is made of God stuff. Made in His image. You are part of this creative source. You stand at a temple that was built for you to celebrate you. What a concept. It's new. Many will have trouble. Many will criticize this particular exercise and say, no human being was ever meant to celebrate that which is God in them. And I'll tell you, that's because the onion told you you weren't supposed to. The onion. The onion, again, represents information from an older time. Doesn't it make sense that the Creator would want you to find yourself? Don't you think it would make sense as you stand there about ready to go into your temple that all along you should have been able to see it, to be part of it, to have extended life and peace and joy and healing? Doesn't it make sense? Well, now you're there. Let's go in together. Every time you've come into this, you see it a little differently, don't you? The theater? Has the theater shrunk? Has it gotten larger? And you'd say, well, how could it get larger or smaller when there's only a certain amount of audience members who are going to sit there and you discuss who they are? Why don't you forget that for a minute? What if I told you the audience would change? Oh boy. You see, you just get used to one thing and then something else happens. There are many ways to honor you, dear one. There are many ways. And all of these programs will be discussing the ways. The ways that you can sit and understand the immensity, the enormity of the truth. You get to this multidimensional place and you're going to go into that little theater, that big theater, and it's a theater in the round, and the stage is a sunken stage where you have to just have to go downstairs to get to it, and through the aisle where the audience will sit. And right now there is no audience, there never is, until you sit in the chair. What's the chair like? To some of you, oh, it's a folding chair. To others, it's a throne. Did you think about that? What's the chair look like? What do you deserve? That's part of the onion, isn't it? I'm not going to tell you what the chair is supposed to look like. You are going to decide when it changes from a simple folding chair to a golden one, a little cushy so you can sit and be comfortable. And I want you to sit in whatever that chair is that you have decided you belong in. And then together for a little while, let's just enjoy what's going to happen. This is the circle of 12. The 12 represents the formula of consciousness of God. The 12 is the number, most mentioned number in Scripture, the way the universe works, all through 12s and 4s. When you sit in that consciousness, you sit in the consciousness of the Creator. And as soon as you sit down, things start happening for you. Some are uncomfortable with what follows. And that is part of the onion, isn't it? What you've been told. Is it uncomfortable for you to receive gifts? Get over it, because you're about to receive gifts. We've told you right now, 2 or 3 things start to happen for you. I want you to enjoy this, because you deserve it. Is it wrong to enjoy that which is the love from Spirit? Is enjoy the wrong word? I'll let you decide whether being in a euphoria of healing is enjoying or not. That is up to you. What emotion is it? Is it going to be tears, perhaps? Is this real? For many of you, it's very real. Multidimensionality is that way. It's not a linear place, dear ones, but it's not in your mind either. It is a real place. And there you sit. The first thing that happens is you're about to have your feet washed. Always your feet will be washed. Always a symbol of love, honor, beauty, forgiveness. But those who wash your feet will change, because now you are starting to understand that the circle of 12, as you sit there, always changes a little. The last time we were here, you had your feet washed by those who had betrayed you. Before that, in the premier healing circle, you had your feet washed by those who were your immediate past life soul family. And that means you washed your own feet. Did you get that? The audience starts to fill up. And the example we gave you before, it was all of those who were you in your past life. All of those who were you. And they start washing your feet. This time, I want your feet to be washed by your ancestors. Those who preceded you of your bloodline on this planet. The mothers, the fathers, those who have passed away, that you've loved and lost, all standing in line, one at a time, to wash your feet with their tears of joy that you actually sat in the chair. Do you realize the celebration of you sitting in the chair? I want you to sit there and feel this. Just feel this. Your feet are being washed by your ancestors right now. The ones with all the wisdom of your bloodline over and over. And in that, the healing starts to begin. What is it that you came with? Don't ask for healing, dear ones. Accept it. Dear Spirit, I accept whatever it is you have for me as I sit and have my feet washed, metaphorically, by those who have loved and lost. Someday I'll be washing someone else's feet in this position, and I'll be so happy that they decided to sit in the chair as well. Your life will be extended. Dear Spirit, I accept life extension. Dear Spirit, I expect and will assume healing is here. There's so much to be healed. We've only begun, dear ones. I want you to stay there. Again, we're not going to pull you out of the chair. I don't want to do that. How many of you can just sit there as we close this meditation and the music continues? I want you to think about all of this. Is it possible that they actually are there washing your feet? It's not only possible, it's happening. Happening. And so it is.